Terence Crawford drops his belts. Shakur Stevenson gets a new nickname. And Canelo Alvarez warns them both about why they may have signed or may be signing with the wrong guy. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, finally, Terence Bud Crawford does what everybody knew he was going to do for at least the last 9 months, which was leave the 147-pound division. Word came out yesterday that he dropped his WBO belt, that he held it 147. So now Brian Norman Jr. is the full champion, and we have a full slate of fights available for us at 147 pounds. And Terence Crawford is apparently fully committed to 154 pounds. Now, Canelo Alvarez spoke out, was asked a question on $1 million worth of game, and gave a very, very clear answer about who the man is in boxing and who he would have been much better off with if he had stayed with his entire career. And it's a message that Shakur Stevenson and Terence Crawford should probably hear, because they are going on somewhat risky paths with Turki Al-Sheikh. Now, before I get into the details of it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you guys very much. Shout out to Matty Yo, shout out to Barbara D, shout out to everybody that supports the channel. But let's get into this, because thank goodness Terence Crawford's at 154 pounds now, and he is about to embark on one of the strangest routes at 154 pounds that I think we've ever seen anybody in a boxing weight class. Very odd path that he has, or not odd, let me say unique path that he has. And I think it has a lot to do with the person that he is working with, Turki Al-Sheikh. Shakur Stevenson, who is a protege of Terence Crawford and a protege of Andre Ward, seems as if he's going that path as well. They may need to, however, considering pumping the brakes a little bit on that, even though I doubt that they very much doubt that they will, because Canelo Alvarez was very, very direct about the path of his career and what would have been the smartest decision for him to make as a fighter. And it would have been, according to Canelo Alvarez, to sign with Haymon. Now, why does that relate to Terence Crawford and Shakur Stevenson? Because they're in a very similar circumstance. Canelo Alvarez turned pro with Oscar De La Hoya, and Oscar De La Hoya made him a big star, or he became a big star with Oscar De La Hoya as his promoter. He then Canelo transitioned from Oscar De La Hoya to Eddie Hearn. And what did he transition into Eddie Hearn for? Because Eddie Hearn and Matchroom had $1 billion that they got from DAZN that they could spend whatever amount of money that they wanted to spend on. And so they invested a lot of that money in Golden Boy Promotions. Golden Boy signed with DAZN, and as a result, Canelo Alvarez fought a series of fights with DAZN for very, very large fixed fees. Now, what happened to him during that time? During that time, he felt as if he was mistreated by Oscar De La Hoya. He sues Oscar De La Hoya. They get out of the contract. And what does he do? He goes over to I do believe, Eddie Hearn. So he works with Eddie Hearn for some fights after he gets away from Oscar De La Hoya. Then he goes to Al Haymon, works with Al Haymon, goes back and forth between the two, but says very straightforward, in a very straightforward fashion, that he believes that he would have been better off early in his career if he had been with Al Haymon the entire time. Now, why is that? Probably because of the control that Al Haymon gives him and the upfront honesty that Al Haymon gave him, the different mechanisms by which Al Haymon introduced to allow them to work together well, like saying, hey, Canelo, you pick your fights. Hey, if we can do the fight that you want, we can do the fight that you want. And if you don't want to do the fight, we want you to do a fight that you don't want to do. Hey, well, you don't do it. And then you go find somebody else to do a fight with them on a one fight basis or whatever. And then you can come back and we can talk it up again and see, what you want to do. Seems to be a very flexible working relationship. He said that is probably why Canelo Alvarez likes Al Haymon. Now, just oppose that to Turki Al-Sheikh. And just the little bit that we know about Turki Al-Sheikh and the attitudes that Turki Al-Sheikh has had with people that did not do exactly what it was that Turki Al-Sheikh wanted him to do. It's a lot of attitude. Whole bunch of attitude. He's had attitude with Canelo. He's had attitude with Tim Tszyu. He's had attitude with Gervonta Davis because he felt like he was giving them a fair offer, and you don't do what I say, then he's gonna throw a fit at you, or he doesn't want to work with you anymore, right? That type of thing. There is more to a working relationship than money, and the partnership and the relationship over a long period of time does come into play. And as you've seen with Al Haymon, he has a tremendous reputation with people that work with him over a series of years. That's yet to be seen with Turki Al-Sheikh. Turki Al-Sheikh is a fairly young man. He doesn't look like he's much over 40. If he is, then, hey, man, maybe that will change over time. However, look, man, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You've got the biggest money people, the biggest money makers in boxing this century that have all worked with Al Haymon. And they've all had a great relationship with Al Haymon. None of them have complained about the money that Al Haymon has paid them or the options that they've had. And when other people have come to try to work with them, no matter how much money they've had or they claim to have had, the fighters say, no, thank you. And none of them seem to regret it after the fact. It boggles my mind how Terence Crawford, Shakur Stevenson, and other fighters don't seem to consider that. Now, it may also be that Al Haymon doesn't want to work with him and doesn't reach out to him. Could be. I don't know. However, that was a very, very strong statement by Canelo Alvarez. And if you look at Terence Crawford and the fact that Terence Crawford's fight didn't sell well, we see, hey, man, who knows what's going to happen down the road? Look what happened with Devin Haney. Everything was going perfectly fine with Devin Haney till Devin Haney ran into that left hook of Ryan Garcia. Yeah, we'll see how the rebuilding and how the moving forward takes place. We'll see how the matchmaking takes place. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting. I am very happy that Terence Crawford did move up to the WBO at 154. The reason that I said that path is very strange is because he is the WBO interim champion. He is if Jermell Charlo comes back as secondary champion at 130, he would be at a secondary champion for the WBA if Jermell is given his super championship back again. And it seems like Turki Al-Sheikh is trying to get him to fight the WBC interim champion. So that would be one secondary championship or main right now, but secondary if Jermell comes back, and two interim titles. That's the strangest unification of belts that I've ever seen, but potentially could be the strangest unification of belts that I've ever seen. And that could have a lot to do with the fact that those belts at the top, Al Haymon got a lot of say-so on those. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.